right, hello wine drinking people. Time for more of what I've had to drink yesterday, and the folks from Chateau and Estates were in with some of their Napa Valley properties, and these guys used to be the biggest player in the Bordeaux business, but man, it's tough to make money in Bordeaux every year, as these guys found out, and they ended up selling everything. And well, they still have got some great wine brands from Burgundy. And, well, they've got some great properties in Napa Valley, like this Provenance Cabernet in Rutherford. And Chris Cooney is the winemaker here. He said this vintage 2010 was just flawless. This wine spends 21 months in oak, 40% new, mostly French. But they do some experimenting with other woods from other around the country. So a little bit of Petit Verdot, Malbec, Merlot, and Cabernet Franc, and Petit Syrah in the blend, but 92% Cabernet Sauvignon here. This wine's got a lovely dark cherry liqueur-like fruit, blackberry, blueberry, kind of dark chocolate, fresh earth, a little bit of that Rutherford dust showing in there. Only about 10,000 cases of this wine produced. They've gone as high as 25,000. You used to see this Provenance wine in Costco and a lot of other big box stores. But this is made from purchased fruit from Andy Beckstoffer, BV1 and BV2. Tom Rinaldi, the great Tom Rinaldi from Duckhorn, is the director of winemaking emeritus for this group. This wine's got big and chewy tannins on the tongue with a good hand of that Rutherford dust and a little mocha and chocolate notes. Lots of everything here. Very well-endowed wine with a long, balanced finish. Really big, but still has elegance. Excellent juice at $40. The 2009 Hewit Cabernet Sauvignon in Rutherford, and this is a single vineyard wine. The vineyard was first planted in 1880. Wow, 2000 was the first vintage that they released this wine to the shareholders. 96% Cabernet Sauvignon, 4% Petit Verdot, 40% whole berry fermentation. And Tom Rinaldi, as I mentioned, is a winemaker here. They do some batonnage, and only about 4,000 cases of this wine produced on the west side of Rutherford, right on the Rutherford bench, clones 4, 7, and 8. And really well-endowed wine on the nose. This has also got a big bottle, one of the things we don't like, but, you know, it's big wine in the bottle. That's one of the things we do like, with black currant and lots of cassis berry fruit, toasty oak spice, dark chocolate, espresso, lead pencil, dark earth. Really complex with lots of nuance. This wine just continuing to open up as the day went on. I kept all these wines up on my desk here all day long. Really decadent wine on the palate with lots of dark spice, cocoa, earthy notes, dark currant, cassis. This wine is all that, and a box of chocolates. Wow, very impressive. Layers and layers of stuff coming through on the finish. Most excellent juice. And hey, you can still get great estate bottle wines made by great winemakers. Single estate wines for under $100. This wine's $90. All right, up next, BV George de Latour, a wine that is over $100 in some places, but one of the most famous wines in the Napa Valley, the very first wine to be, well, reserve bottling, single vineyard, George de Latour. I don't know if it's single vineyard, I'm sorry, but, you know, 1930s, they came out with this one, the great Andrei Chelichev, one of the great winemakers in Napa Valley history. And this wine today is 95% Cabernet Sauvignon, the 2008 vintages, 3% Petit Verdot, 2% Merlot, only 8,000 cases produced. I thought they made more of this. This is the first year that Monsieur Michel Rouland has been involved, and the scores have gone up because he's good buddies with Parker. And well, Michel, you know, usually can give you a few hints as to how to make better wine, or at least better wine according to Parker. And oh, I shouldn't say that, because Michel does make great wines. Everything he touches, really, he does help, you know, these wineries turn these projects around. And he helped them, well, they completely redesigned a new facility in the old facility, which also helps. This wine's got a lovely dark currant and cherry fruit with blackberry nuances, rustic, earthy qualities with that Rutherford dust. This wine's so well known for. 100% French oak, 75% new, so you do get a lot of that new smoky, toasty oak cigar box tobacco notes. A big and chewy wine on the tongue as well, with layers of that dark earth and cigar box spice. A very terroir-driven wine, as George de Latour always has been, with lots of dark currant and cherry fruit. You're not going to mistake this for a French wine. Not too many people will anyway, especially in a vintage like 2008, which is very forward and drinkable. That's lovely cigar box spice and good hand of tannins, but they're smooth and round on the finish. Oh, this wine's already starting to drink nicely, but still could use a little bit more time. Excellent juice, this 2008 BV George de Latour. And then the big boy from Chile, Almaviva from Puerto Alta. This is a blend of 73% Cabernet Sauvignon, 22% Carmenere, a little Cabernet Franc and Merlot thrown in for good measure. 85 acres of estate. Vineyards they have to pick from this. The first vintage was 1997. I visited this winery, Almaviva, an incredible facility, a joint venture between Conchi Toro and Chateau Mouton Rothschild. they make anywhere from 12 to 15,000 cases of this wine. Quite a bit of wine at $150. Definitely one of the marquee blends coming from Chile today, and this wine has got a lovely bouquet. A bit of that telltale Chilean herbaceousness that you get from wines from down here. Some dark currant and plum fruit, notes of roasted coffee, fine herbs. Really lovely complexity coming out in this. You really notice the European influence. Really lovely, elegant wine on the palate too. Big, but lovely freshness. Big and round tannin, succulent fruit, and that herbaceousness is showing through a little bit on the finish, but still lovely balance in this wine. Lots of everything else. Most excellent juice, this 2009 Almaviva. And then a white wine to finish things off. Why not? Hey, if it's Chalone, the great Dick Graff, one of the pioneers in California viticulture, and he planted these vines in the early 1990s. They came from Budwood from the 20s, though, and they think they could be Melon de Bourgogne. This wine sees 50% stainless, 50% neutral oak. There's about 280 acres Dick planted out there in the Gallivan Mountains, near the Pinnacles Mountains, and I've been out there. I took the trek out there. You think you're going to get, am I there yet? Am I there yet? Am I there yet? No, you finally get there, and you're like, what would drive this man to come out here and plant a vineyard? Limestone, folks, lots of it. And he had his own little plane that he used to fly in this little tiny landing strip. He used to land in the middle of the mountains. It eventually killed him. That's how he died, flying his plane around. And I mean, a really interesting guy. Made great wines. And this wine does not go through ML, more of a Chablis-like style, very fresh and clean bouquet, white peach and cantaloupe fruit with a distinct minerality to this wine, a little bit of a lemon blossom kind of floral note as well, very bright and fresh on the palate with a firm underbelly of acidity, lemon citrus fruit, slightly honeyed character to this wine that will develop over time. Pinot Blancs known for aging very well, especially those from Alsace. They take on richness as time goes on. This wine needs a little bit of goat cheese, though, today, still a little bit steely, and lovely mineral nuance to this wine, though. Excellent juice. That's what I had to drink with our friends from Chateau Estates. I'm your host, Andrew Lampasoni, signing off for the Wine Watch, saying, remember, always drink the good stuff first.